I got sick on the last day of vacation.
Honestly, that's the best way to go, though.
I think I agree with you. It did really suck to be on a plane, not feeling well.
But then also because you went immediately back to work too, didn't you?
Yes, but I did a really good job and now I'm all caught up again because I'm amazing.
I just mean like it sucks when you don't have like those filler days.
Yeah, I should have done
before you go back to work.
I was like, oh, the plane gets in at like 9 a.m., 11 a.m. I'll have the whole day. Dumb.
No.
Stupid.
The whole day doesn't exist when LAX is involved.
You're right. It does something weird to your own space-time continuum. Exactly, Sam. We're on the same page. Mm-hmm. It sucks out some of your life force if you go to LAX.
If you even think about going to LAX, it sucks out some of your life force.
Yeah, and the paper is peer-reviewed. It's out there. Sam and I are on it.
Yeah, what's that one lady who was on Disney Channel and now she's like a scientist? She does like that kind of science, like black holes and shit. It's gonna bug the shit out of me. She was from like Good Luck Charlie. I'll figure it out later.
Sam, I promise you, I do not know this person's name.
A physicist. She's a physicist now, she went from Disney star to physicist. She works for like NASA or some shit. Anyway.
Maybe she knows my brother. Anyway, I'm Shelby.
I'm Sam.
It's the Rom Complex.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wearing a meat suit. That's a suit that's made out of meat. And you. And me. And me. And you. Meat suit.
Rom Complex.
I forget your brother is
like a famous scientist.
Guy, yeah.
It's so
famous
weird.
Space guy.
Forget about my brother.
Yeah.
Ew, gross.
Ew.
Let's talk about people who are here in front of us and we care about. And that is our special guests for the day, Emily and Jess from Femmes reading Filth, the podcast.
Hey guys.
Hello. But also, is your brother like single? Is he cute? What's going on?
God, no. I
always got to shoot my shot, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't inflict that on you. I mean, he's like stable, but God, at what cost? No, he's married, happily married.
Then we're out. Then we're like much like Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. I'm not going to touch that. I respect that too much. Like, absolutely not.
Yes.
You can't even speculate. It feels disrespectful.
No.
We can't do that to Goldie.
And I fucking love Goldie. Oh shit, are we allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I fucking love Goldie. I should have asked that in the pre. My bad. My bad.
We have an explicit rating on Apple.
Yeah, we do it overall and every episode we mark it. Because, like, come on, we're saying words like frick and frack.
I know, we're so bad.
Like,
so naughty.
Don't listen to our podcast, you guys. You're gonna be shocked.
It's not even swear words. It's just like, it's
a lot of
sex,
sexual.
Obviously.
It's filth. Yeah, exactly.
It's filth.
We love to see it.
Yes, definitely crossover there. Well, surprisingly, the movie that you guys brought to us to discuss today, not filthy at all. Like, very wholesome.
You have Emily to thank for that. I threw out Secretary. I was really pushing for Secretary. That was on the list, but we went more wholesome.
Yes, you guys have been doing this for a long time, so you've done a lot of movies.
We have,
so it
yes.
was I'm not saying it was slim pickings, but we're like, shit, what are we gonna do?
I know.
And this was on the list, and it's also a book, so it kind of goes well with our whole thing. But like we read, like we read. We're nerds.
Wow.
No big deal.
Oh yeah, we're reading also all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Directions on things and little pamphlets.
Air fryer versus
cereal.
microwave.
Yeah.
Right.
How long do I drain the Brita filter for before I put it in?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lots of reading.
How many ibuprofen can I take in a 24-hour period?
Yeah.
Very important.
Exactly.
That's life or death right there.
Yeah.
For me, it's Tums, but yeah, same thing.
Oh man, is there a limit to we can't get distracted with this. We can't.
All right, just like your brother, put it in a corner. We're not talking.
Talk about it later.
So we're talking about The Princess Bride. Wow, what a sweet movie. Did you have any of you read the book that it's based on?
Yeah.
Yes, these two nerds have.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Have you guys ever read the book?
I have not.
It's a lovely book, and it is done in such a cool way because it's done in the same way that the movie is done, in which someone is telling you a story, but you're reading their version of the story. And so in the book, it's William Golding. William. Let's call him Will.
Little Willie. Yeah.
He's the author. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's writing the story, but he's like, well, this is a story my grandpa told me, but I'm going to like give you the footnotes version of it. And so he's saying the story, but then in parentheses or footnotes, I can't remember which one it is.
It's footnotes.
It's been a minute since I read it, but it'll be like, and I'm going to skip over this part because it's actually like 15 pages of like what they packed to go on this journey. And like, we don't need to know about all, it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Fair. Yeah. I didn't need to know what they packed.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
He's doing the work for us.
So it's great that they did maintain or keep that little nice meta-narrative style in it for the movie by having it be a grandpa telling this story to, or like reading this story to a grandson. Yeah. And the grandson at first is all like, ew, kissing, gross.
Yeah.
Which, did you ever have that as a kid, or were you like always into romance? Because I feel like I was born wanting to see characters kiss.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jess, what about you?
No, I was so scandalized by it. I was so.
So was I, Jess. We're on the same wavelength here.
We are the same. Yes, I did not grow up in a family that is very physically affectionate in general. Like my parents were not like hugging and kissing on each other while I was growing up. And then when I would see it in movies, I would be like, why do people are doing that in public? And that doesn't feel right. So I would get very uncomfortable and very scandalized because I just didn't. I felt scandalized by it because I didn't ever see it. And then when I go, now I'm fine. But when I was little, I didn't understand it. And I felt like it was this weird thing that other people did, but certainly would never happen in real life.
Would never happen to me. No, I was like more embarrassed. Like if my parents were in the room when there was like a big climactic kiss scene, I'd be like, oh my God, this is so naughty. Like I shouldn't be like I thought kissing was sex for a very long time. Like for longer than most kids probably think that. I thought that's what grown-ups do. That's it. Yeah. That's all they do.
The Barugans really watched a lot of weird movies together, and so that was never a scandalizing thing for me. I also remember at a young age taking my Barbies and doing like soap operas with them and like making them kiss and stuff. So like I've always been this way. I was born this way.
You were.
To bring it back to Lady Gaga.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think I watched a lot more like worse stuff than just kissing. Like I was like 5 years old and I saw the first Austin Powers movie in theaters. Like, that's what we're working with here. I was not scandalized by kissing, more terrified by horror movies that I watched too early.
Yeah, of course. I'm scarred for life by some... I didn't watch a lot of kissing movies, but apparently I kept walking in when they were watching shit like Chucky or fucking... Darkness Falls. Has anyone seen that? Terrifying. Scarred.
Ooh, no,
I remember the trailer and how I had to close my eyes during it.
I got scared from the cover of Edward Scissorhands.
Yes, totally.
That's fair.
The cover, and I didn't.
Was it the hands?
Yes, which is crazy because I love Tim Burton movies, and at a young age I love them. But I saw the cover of that, and I had nightmares that he would like come into my room with his scissor hands.
Yeah.
And then I saw the movie, and I was like, lovely, I love it.
What a nice boy.
Can't judge a book by its cover, I guess.
Exactly. The literal meaning.
So what about The Princess Bride has brought it to you to us? I was like, to bring
has brought it to us today.
Yeah. Yes. Like the obviously it's got a really cute romance story, and that's the story that kind of brings us along through The Princess Bride. But overall, it's like not about that.
Which we didn't realize until we watched it again.
Well, yeah, but like
that was my fault. My bad, everyone.
And no, don't worry. This is far more a romance than like a lot of movies we've covered.
We've covered a lot.
That does make me feel better.
That does make us feel better.
We're not strict. When we say rom-com, we're like, has romance in it somewhere. There are some movies that have like a Z plot of romance that we've done covered.
That. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
This is like a comedy with romance in it is more what this is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would think so.
I mean, you kind of made the list, Jess, because I was like, I looked at it and I was like, I don't know, I can't think of anything. And then you're like, okay, well, I'll pick 5. I was like, sounds good. And then I picked the one from that.
Because the way that we talk about romance a lot on our podcast, because it's a lot about reading, is we talk a lot about romance tropes. Mm-hmm. And this does have a lot of good romance tropes, because like there's the like enemies to lovers of it all with like, and twice. Because the first time Wesley is just a poor farm boy and she's mean to him, but then he's a scary pirate.
Bully romance, and then
bully romance and enemies to lovers. Yes. But then he's a pirate and she doesn't know, and then she comes around him. So there's that. But then
she's engaged to another man.
She's engaged. There's an arranged marriage.
Arranged marriage. There's like a forced proximity.
Yeah.
There's like a little stalker element.
A little kidnapping.
Little kidnapping.
Love.
Yeah. I think a big part of it, though, is like this is one of the first movies that I remember watching where it was very like epic, sweeping romance. It wasn't like small town girl who's a baker meets a guy. It was like, no, like true love's kiss and these very like fairy tale elements that like for me as an impressionable little girl watching it was like just swooning. And so I think that was the first thing I thought of, and it took over so much of my brain that we didn't realize until we watched it that it wasn't actually the biggest part of the plot. It's just like these really fantastic, almost romantic bookends to the story, I feel like.
I think it is overall a really romantic story. And then it's just a lot of time is spent with like clever dialogue and having fun. But like the reasons the characters are doing the things they're doing is because of love. So to me, that's a romance. And he literally will like follow her to the ends of the earth.
Yes. I think that's what we commented on that too, because we watched it together this Saturday because we were like, let's do it together. And we were taking notes and we were just like pirate romance, like farm, small town, like, you know, something like that. We could just kept saying shit like that.
What else did we not? Oh, touch her and die.
Touch her and die vibes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another classic trope.
But and I think we had said, because it was halfway through, we're like, oh, they're not really like together much in this movie. like he's fighting to get to her, and it's that like this is one of my like top 5 favorite movies of all time, and I say that on every date I go to. It's a whole thing, but like it did instill in me, I think, at a young age that like you want someone who's gonna like do anything to be with you, kind of, and it's just this, which might not be super
healthy.
Like, I guess it's not like real. I don't know, but like
it's not
realistic.
Practical. I wouldn't say it's unhealthy.
Exactly, but like, is that what I strive for? Like, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal, right? But
yeah. Well, I guess it is kind of hard to apply, right? Because you're not like young farm woman
not anymore
who's, you know, the love of your life doesn't leave to pursue his fortune and get like, you know, attacked by a pirate. So luckily we don't have to have like that follow you to the ends of the earth love. They just need to follow us, like, you know,
to the grocery store.
To the grocery store. Exactly. Literally. Just pick up the stuff on the list. Yeah. And then that's really it.
Yeah. I do think there is something about the love in this movie, too. Like, aside from the go to the ends of the earth, I do think there's something realistically we can take from Wesley. And it's just a man who actually likes and wants to be with his girlfriend. Yeah. Like, I feel like we've been conditioned societally to like, yeah, your boyfriend has to like make jokes about how he doesn't like you, and that's normal and that's okay. No.
Yeah.
Or you have to strive to be the person that he likes, but she's just who she is. She's just a bitch in the beginning, and he's like, fuck, I love her. And then like, and she's just kind of like there for a lot of the movie. She's great. She's fabulous, but she's also product of her time, product of her environment. And he's just like, yep, that's the one for me. Like, don't go changing. You're fabulous. So
exactly.
It's the dream.
She is very much the damsel in distress, though. She is playing the stereotypical damsel in distress role, which on the rewatch kind of drove me nuts. Because I was paying very close attention to it.
There are parts where she could easily help him, and she just doesn't. Standing there.
During the ROUSs.
Exactly.
We were screaming at the television. She picks up a stick and just holds it for a while.
Right.
I remember her being like, she's going to hit the rat, but only when it comes after her, not when it's on top of her true love. Come on.
And
swing
listen,
thing.
If you're gonna, you gotta be worth the chase you to the ends of the earth love, right? Like, if I'm getting that chase you to the ends of the earth love, then I'm giving it in return. And she was just like gonna let him deal with that thing all
She was like, I'm Robin Wright. I could do whatever I want. Don't talk to me.
She is so beautiful in this movie.
Stunning.
Like, she's beautiful and everything, but like, I think just because I'm paying more attention this time, I was like, damn, she is so freaking beautiful. Like, what great casting.
And so is he. I think you said something along the lines like, he is the pretty boy. He is a beautiful man with those bright blue eyes.
Yes. He hasn't aged particularly well, but he was very beautiful.
I don't know. I feel like he still looks like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but maybe it's like the way he's cutting his hair. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I'm just like, no.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
I think he fell victim to the little filler here. Like, his face is a little too wide.
The Hollywood tune-up,
just has more, like, muscle in there. I don't know. I'm actually notoriously bad at, like, seeing if someone's had work done. Like, I have no idea. Everyone to me is natural.
I think he just looks like that because he's British.
It's just that. You're not wrong. They do
like,
have a particular aesthetic.
He grew into that. Yeah. The face. Well, so in this movie, after we've got your farm boy, right? We said he goes to get a fortune. Now that he knows the girl who's living on the farm is in love with him. He's like, all right, great. Got to be able to buy her stuff. He disappears.
Again, who doesn't want a man like that?
Yeah, he's perfect. He's perfect.
He gets attacked by a freaking pirate.
Ugh, classic.
Ugh, how it goes. So somehow 5 years later, Buttercup, the main character, is now betrothed to Prince Humperdinck. So it's kind of implied that the prince could just go around and pick whoever he wanted to marry, and they can't really say no. So
yeah,
I do think that's how kings operated.
Yeah, you
isn't
know
that
what?
a Henry VIII?
Yeah, he did that
with
he
the
was
last
like,
one, right?
I
can't remember her name. Divorce-headed died. Divorce-headed the survived one.
Jane something.
Oh, was it Jane?
Jane Seymour was third. Oh, was there two Janes? This doesn't matter. Put this in the corner. Put it in the corner.
Cut that.
Cut that.
I'm like waiting for you guys to break out into like a song from Six.
That musical is so fucking good. That musical is so good.
It's stunning. It's beautiful. I saw it when I was in London.
Oh, lucky.
Chef's kiss.
Speaking of six, that's how many fingers the prince's friend has.
Perfect segue. Perfect.
Shelby is the master of the segue. I should have warned you guys. We should put a warning on every episode anytime we have guests. She is the master of segues.
Watch me do that. Watch me do me. So before this wedding, Buttercup gets abducted. She gets kidnapped.
Casual.
Classic. It happens. If you're
listen,
some people they hate to see a bad bitch in the wild.
Yeah. Thriving. They hate to see a bad bitch thriving. She's about to become princess. They're like, nah, we can't have all that.
And she doesn't even want it. She's like, I don't want to marry this guy. Yeah. But she's like, I want to die. Like the love of my life is dead. What do I have?
She has so many feelings.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Shh, quiet. Quiet, Jessica.
All right, we'll let that slide.
Listen, is it an unhealthy way to think? Yes. Is it relatable? Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Also,
that's why we're all in therapy.
It's true. Yeah.
Come on.
So she gets kidnapped by these three guys. You got the Sicilian, Vizzini, as well as Sean. It's funny because I'm Sicilian, but I forget that like in this like older British stuff, they didn't have racism the same way. They could just do fun racism where it's just like, this guy's Spanish. Like, this guy is Sicilian. You can't trust him.
And that's his name now.
Yeah. It's white on white crime at that point.
It's true. It's like they have fun with it. They're not bringing in, the same kind of history.
Yeah.
They're just like a little sprinkling of it here and there.
Yeah. A sprinkling of racism.
Just a tap, And
then they've got Andre the Giant is there as Fezzik, a giant.
Yep.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Perfect casting.
Amazing.
Play who he is,
And he's super friendly the whole time. He just seems like a guy who like showed up and got to be in the movie. And that's like, I love that for him.
It's perfect.
Quick rundown, because it's like, oh my God, so much here has no kissing in it. We're the opposite of the kid. We're like, can we
Where's the kissing?
To the kissing?
Can the boys start kissing? That'd be fun.
Now that would be fun. And it's sort of...
I read some fanfic about it.
Okay, that makes sense, because it like, in a way, happens because after this kidnapping, this group realizes they're being followed by a guy. So they leave the sword fighter, Inigo Montoya, behind to fight this guy who's coming. And it's a pirate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, oh my God, he's a better fighter.
He's a better fighter.
They have this little sword fighty dance that's basically them kissing.
You're not wrong. I mean, they are crossing swords. So
they're literally crossing swords.
Literally. I do feel like when rewatching that scene, I was like, oh, they are best friends. Like, this is just like the epitome of like how people become best friends. Like,
they do a little fight and then they're best friends.
Being like, I can be better, but like, I don't know, like doing some aerobics, like, flying off the thing.
I think it's really cool that they both start out left-handed and they're like, oh, you're really good, but I'm not left-handed. And the other one also switches. Like, you just go into a fight being like, I'm going to challenge myself.
Dude, this is the epitome of boys being dudes. Like, this is a bromance if I've ever seen one, which you can already tell, right? Because you've got all the movie is obviously, as we all know, littered with like witty banter, right? So, anytime characters are interacting, it's always, you got to be paying attention to what's going on in the dialogue or you might miss what's happening. But I loved this because Cary Elwes is hot with his little, I'm sorry, are we trying to pretend that we don't know who this man is?
I don't know.
No.
Actor names are fine.
Yeah.
No. Yes. Yeah. What? Who?
No, I meant like the man in the black mask versus
You're telling
Wesley.
Me he's the...
We'll call him Pirate
it's
Wesley.
It's him, Pirate Wesley.
Yeah.
Wesley and Pirate
Wesley. He's so hot, and like so is Mandy Patinkin in this movie, and I'm just like two hot boys. Yes. I was so just like, yes.
See, I am not attracted to Mandy Patinkin in this movie because we have the same hair. I was
you
just like
guarantee
upset.
The hair of your children, though.
I just wanted him to get that frizz controlled. He's never been my cup of tea, but also I love him. Like, I want to know him and be friends with him. Never been attracted to him. Just gonna put
That's
that
fair.
Only attracted to him in Yentl. Hate me if you got it.
What a pull.
That's my Avigdor. I love that movie.
I mean, fine. If I have to pick one, A Criminal Minds, Mandy Patinkin. Fine.
Yes, let's
Honestly,
go.
Literally,
that's a good one.
As opposed to Cary Elwes, he has aged well. He's so hot.
He has.
Listen.
And he's so sweet. And he loves his wife so much.
Yes.
Like real life Mandy Patinkin.
Oh my gosh.
Great.
I love that.
Yes. They're on TikTok. Their son films TikToks of them.
It's really cute.
Oh, that's right. I did know that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Adorable.
I have seen that before. But it's just so interesting to me, like this whole sword fighting scene, right? Not only am I just like, wow, two attractive men crossing swords, right? I'm also just astounded by the level of respect these men have for each other, even though technically they're adversaries, right? And I feel like this movie was made in the 80s. And I feel like we've gotten away from like respectable fucking fighting. Like, I know we don't sword fight. It's
fighting like
2025.
gentlemen.
Fighting like gentlemen. Or just like having because I swear to God, if a movie like this was made now, like Inigo would have let him fall off the cliff. Oh yeah, I'm going to throw you the rope. And then like been like, psych, pull it up mean. And he dies. Right. Everything is so mean. But here it's like, there is a way to fight in this time period, and there are rules of engagement. And he like even gives him a little break after he climbs up the hill. And I'm just like, dude, these are men. They're like real men.
I'm trying to think of like a more equivalent to that today. But I think it's not the same, but the closest I can think of is like a Guy Ritchie movie where it's still like, it's modern day, like British thugs with guns, but they're still gentlemen, like in the movie. I think it's The Gentleman, when I feel like they're always like meeting before everything like breaks loose. It's always like, we're going to sit down like civilized people and be like, I'm going to kill you. Okay. Like, it's just
shake on it.
I feel like that is maybe the most easily equivalent to today, but it's still in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
Hard to be honorable in today's world.
No, it's all about like killing people by surprise and, like it's just get rid of it.
We've all done it.
Yeah. I mean, movies, Shelby, movies. Because it's gotten to the point, I'm not even kidding, I get so skittish when I go to see new movies because I always think something's gonna like happen. I went and saw Mickey 17 over the weekend, which was actually very funny. It's the new Robert Pattinson movie. But there were so many moments when they would like close up on someone. And that one's actually kind of like, he dies a lot in that movie on purpose, like by design. But every time they zoomed in on someone's face, I was like, oh no, is someone about to get like shot through the head without us knowing this is going on or something like that? Like I was getting so nervous. It never came, but I was still nervous the whole movie.
We've been trained to think it will though.
Yeah. I'm like, when you zoom in on a character.
I think that's why this is still like one of my favorite comfort watches, because it really is that old school, like not Disney movie, but that there are rules of engagement and we have our heroes who would never think to let someone fall off a cliff, even though they're like the bad guys at the beginning and we can like trust them. Mm-hmm. And then we have our very clear villains that are definitely going to be the bad guys. And there's no like violent out of nowhere jump scares. And
plot
it's
twists.
So comforting.
Yeah.
It's so nice to not have to worry about it.
Yeah, it is comforting.
Yeah. Although I was telling Emily, when I first watched it as a kid, I truly did not realize that Wesley was the Man in Black until he took his mask off when I was little, when I first watched it.
Oh, I think I agree. Like, I remember feeling like, who is this completely separate guy? And then I was like, you know what? There are like 3
Who is
Wesleys.
This new character?
I love this new guy. And I was like, I remember also him being younger, being like, or me being younger, him taking it off and me being like, why does this guy look like Wesley? Like, who is this guy? Like, I still was suspended disbelief.
So our dear black masked Wesley does also best the giant, because the giant Fezzik, he's like, I'm used to fighting more than one guy at a time. So this is actually kind of hard for me right now. And then he has this nice little fun battle of wits with Wallace Shawn, which I swear is the only part of the movie I saw when I was younger. I don't think I saw anything besides that until I was like in my 20s or something.
Just them talking over a rock. The coolest part.
Yeah, and then like the which cup did he poison? Mm-hmm. And then he, switches them and they drink the cups. And then, of course, Wallace Shawn dies and Wesley is like, well, I built up an immunity to the poison. So...
Yeah, I think all of the little twists are just so clever. Okay, full disclosure, I did not watch this movie as a child. I saw it for the first time in college. Mm-hmm. Was it? Yeah, in college. And I was like, oh, okay. I also saw like Robin Hood Men in Tights for the first time. So I was like, oh, okay. I understand this like brand of this flavor of movie. But watching it again this time, I was like, there were certain things that I remember, but it was mostly just Inigo Montoya. That's it. That's all I remembered from this movie. You couldn't, like, even just watching it in college, that was the only part I remembered.
Because of the "You killed my father, prepare to die." Yeah.
And everybody says that line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like a lot of the quotes from this movie that people quote really, really frequently feel so lame outside of the movie to me. Like, because I was preparing for it to be like, I was waiting for him to say it so I could be like, ew, gross. But then he said it and I was like, wait, you're great. Like, wow, it's almost like you're
sexy.
An actor.
Yeah.
And I did read in the IMDb that this is like his favorite movie that he's ever done, which like, it looks like it. It looks like he's having a grand old time. But yeah, those kinds of quotes and things I remembered, and getting to see them in full context. I was like, wow, this is great.
Yeah, I also watched it and was like, that's where the quote's from. Wow.
Well, do you know the backstory of like Mandy Patinkin and why he took the role and why that was so important to him?
Please.
Oh,
take us on this journey.
We got trivia for days on this.
Trivia for days.
We love it. That's why you're here.
And I only know this because I saw Mandy Patinkin's TikTok about it over COVID. But basically, his dad had passed of cancer. His dad was sick for like a while and passed right before he did this movie. And he took it because he was like, well, every time that I understand what it's like to want my father back. And so every time I say this line, I'm going to think about my dad. And he talks about like doing that final like scene in Sword Fight. And when he says like, I want my father back, you son of a bitch. He was like, I just wanted to channel all of my grief about losing my dad into that moment. And that's why it's the most special movie that I've ever done, because it was like, it helped me work through that. I know.
That line reading is so good.
It's so good.
Against the six, I mean, are we going to jump forward or should we keep going?
No, we don't need to be chronological.
You're doing great.
I'm doing, it's the new Gaga.
Great. We're all here. We're all here.
New Gaga. Chrono Gaga.
We don't need to do that. Yeah, jump all around. You know, we're hanging out.
We're just friends talking about a film.
I like that because it's against the six-fingered man. It's Gaga for me too. The six-fingered man, but also it's just like everything is connected and it wraps up so lovely. And that's like the best fairy tale element of it. It's like all the bad guys got, all the good guys didn't get. You know what I mean? Like it was. And the Count Rugen also hurt Wesley, and he's Humperdinck's guy, and like he's wearing mustard the whole time, so you don't trust him, and like and just like yes, like he is the son of a bitch, like happy about it.
Yeah, the right people win, and that's what you want to see. Sometimes we want just a classic story where the good guys win, and
correct,
in a good way.
Justice is enacted against the bad guys.
We don't need an anti-hero right now, okay? Though technically, I guess a pirate is kind of an anti-hero.
Not if you watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think even then,
they're all heroes to me.
Both of them.
They're all heroes.
There's good and bad pirates.
Anyone who's a captain in that movie is a hero.
Oh no.
To Sam.
And the actors who played them.
And the actors who play them.
Bill Nye is a hero.
Let's go. I'll take it.
Great.
So after Wesley gets Buttercup, she's like, fuck you. I know who you are. You're the Dread Pirate Roberts. You killed the love of my life. Get the fuck out of here and never see me again or whatever. She pushes him down a goddamn hill.
Yeah.
At which point realizing that's Wesley.
And
yes,
then
because he
Yes, you win.
The best part of that scene is the oofs as they fall down. Ooh, 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 like the whole time. And you know it's just her standing next to a mic going, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Dream job.
Like literally though, falling down a hill like that is one of my greatest fears.
They could have died.
It looks bad.
I think you're going to be okay. I fell down a hill like that, but I was on a bicycle and it was very scary.
Oh, yikes. Yeah.
Yeah, I like flew out into some lady's backyard and hit a tree. And she called down from her deck, "Are you okay?"
Oh my God.
I was like, yeah. But no, I was watching it and I was like, oh, the stunt people are really throwing themselves into those flips. Like they flipped more than they had to. Yeah. So I think like, Sam, you're going to be safe as long as you don't purposely throw yourself down a cliff.
Every time I've ever gone hiking, which I don't do anymore because I hate hiking, but like anytime I have to come down, like going up, I'm fine. I'm like, okay, use those glute muscles. We're scaling. But then you have to come back and you have to shuffle your feet like a little nerd sometimes if it's too steep, and I don't like it. I fell one time doing that, but I didn't roll, thank God.
If you do fall, you're supposed to like let your body be like pliant, like go with the flow, because I knew a guy who fell down the stairs at like the Argyle stop one time in Chicago.
Oh gosh.
And it's because there was like I wonder if he listens to this. I won't say hi just in case. But he like runs there was people like on the platform running from the cops. They like had robbed somebody, and they ran and they pushed him, and he was drunk as fuck, and he fell down the stairs. And because he was so drunk, he didn't like.
He was like a rag doll.
He didn't try. Yeah, he was a rag doll. He didn't try to like stop. And the hospital, because he had to go to the hospital, and they all did. Like the robbers, they all fell down. Everyone else completely hurt. He was like completely fine. They're like, "How did you do this?" And then they figure out they're like, "Oh, he's that drunk.
It's because he's drunk."
Hey, it wasn't so like he was driving. Yeah.
Correct. Take the L, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lesson.
Gaga. So Wesley and Buttercup are reunited. Oh my God. Wow.
They're so cute. Aww. And you didn't mention the line itself, Shelby, because earlier in the story when he's just a mere little farm hand, anytime she tells him to do something, he responds with "as you wish," which again, everybody fucking quotes that shit.
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. He's ahead of his time, really.
Yeah.
So when he does get pushed down the hill, he says it again, and that's kind of their little code phrase. And she's like, "Oh no, my love, I must go after you." Idiot. She could have just waited.
She didn't need to flip down the hill to go after him.
She could have slid on her butt.
Yeah. She had control over the situation.
She could have done anything more helpful, but whatever. They go through the fire swamp, and she proceeds to be extremely unhelpful. She's getting set on fire. He has to literally, physically pull her away from the fire geysers every time they happen. She can't put together that there's a noise beforehand. Whatever. They get attacked by a rodent. Oh, and she gets sucked into some quicksand. She literally cannot just be normal for one second.
They come out of the quicksand, and he has the craziest look on his face as he's pulling them up. And I turned to Jess and I was like, "Can you imagine the sand that gets in your eyes after filming this?"
Poor guy.
And you look at her face, and she does not brush that sand away. And I was like, "That's really upsetting to me."
Yeah, it was on her eyelid, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's hurting just to think about.
Yeah. That's how I always thought. Well, okay, no, that's not how I always thought. But do you remember when you were a kid and you were afraid of quicksand? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always imagined it more of wet sand, and in this movie it's dry. So I was a little confused.
This is also a fairy tale.
Hey, did you know that? Did you know that, Sam? That this is
I don't know if you know. This isn't real.
Sure, but we want to be as accurate as possible.
Although, don't let Sam have this. The world is magical to her.
To your point, it is called the fire swamp, and it's not very swampy. So,
Listen, all I'm saying is...
You're right. I'm an idiot. I'm so
They could have done better, is what I'm saying.
I'm a fool. I'm an absolute fool.
Hey.
I regret it.
We're all foolish, but in a fun way, the Fool, the tarot card. Not
We're at the beginning of our journey.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Exactly.
But not Wesley and Buttercup. Nope, they're about in the middle.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, here's the set where they get the sad part, because they can't, it's only the middle of the movie. They can't stay together. So the bad guys catch up with them. The prince is like, "Hey, we're still getting married," or whatever. And they throw Wesley in a pit, the pit of despair. He's in a torture chamber. You love to see it.
Casual.
Of course, he tells Buttercup that he just let Wesley go.
Right.
Take it.
And she believes him.
Well, yeah, because she actually gives it that. I'm so silly. She does one thing. She sacrifices herself. She's like, "I'll marry you as long as you keep Wesley safe." And they're like, "Yeah, sure."
Not to hurt him. That's what she says.
Right. Which to me, again, I'm like, girl, I know you were raised on a farm, so maybe you're a little out of touch.
Yeah.
Socially, but that guy's not going to do the thing you ask him to do.
A man who's forcing you to marry him?
Yeah.
What?
Well, when you're used to Wesley, who's the most compliant boyfriend in the world, who does anything, I can see how she would think everyone's going to do everything for me. Fool.
You're right.
What an idiot.
Absolute fool.
This is what we can't have perfect boys like Wesley, because they'll give people unrealistic expectations of how the rest of the world's going to treat them.
Thanks, Wesley.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
So he's all getting tortured. They love it. But Fezzik, the giant, he for some reason before... The prince is going on his shit. It's been a while, right? And Buttercup is like, you know what? I cannot marry you. I love Wesley. I just really can't do it. And he's like, well, okay, I'll send some letters out. And if Wesley comes back, then like, yeah, chill. You guys are together. But if not, like, maybe consider marrying me instead of killing yourself. Like, it could be okay.
Fine, Dad.
Yeah, and she says, yeah, girl, come on. He's not gonna send letters.
There's fastest ships. His four fastest.
Exactly.
No.
Out of like at least 10 or 12. That's a lot of ships.
Yeah.
Full crews. He's actually, this whole thing is employing a lot of the people of Florin. So this is great. Thank you, Wesley. Yeah. Employment rates are up.
He's bringing the jobs to Florin.
The jobs.
You're so right.
Yeah. And so Buttercup kind of realizes that at a certain point.
Yeah, because she calls him out on the 4 ships thing.
Yeah.
Rookie move. I saw that and I was like, you're an idiot. You thought you were so smart, Mr. Prince, but you're fucking dumb. Where did that come from?
Silly stuff. Meanwhile, Andre the Giant and Mandy Patinkin meet up again. And Andre the Giant's like, yo, I met your 6-fingered man. I know where he is. He's in the castle. And Inigo Montoya is like, okay, we got to get in there, but we got to find that pirate guy because he had like a good head on his shoulder. I think he can get us into the castle, but we can't do it on our own. So already we've got these guys going to save our boy Wesley.
Yeah.
Can I also just say that part is so funny to me because they yada yada over a bunch of shit right there.
Yes.
Yes. And he told him about how Vicini died and about his lifelong struggle to find the 6-fingered man and da-da-da. And he like, it's all of this exposition and they're like, okay, here we go. Now's the next thing. And I'm like, good job, Rob Reiner. You're great. You're doing
but then
great.
The other, like, the whole next part, too, is just full fairy tale logic. Like, the way that they find Wesley is just like, I'm going to say a prayer to my father and then let him guide my sword.
Follow the albino man with a wheelbarrow first.
Because clearly he must be the guy that knows where things are. And then the sword is guided. And I love this movie's commitment to fairy tale logic of like, it shouldn't work. Or even later when they're tricking somebody, like, if only we had a cloak. And Fezzik is like, this cloak? And just pulls it out of his shirt. And I'm like, great. Yeah. Great. Thank you for not making us watch a scene where you find a cloak.
Where you explain, we have to explain how you're getting all these things. Nope, we just have them. Go ahead.
Have them. Yeah, we know what we're here for.
Go forward. Go forth.
Yes. Next scene.
Yeah. So the prince, he's trying to start a war. It turns out like he hired the guys to kidnap Buttercup to begin with and kill her, by the way. And so he's like, I'm trying to do that. We're like, you suck. We hate him. And
the worst.
He imprisons Buttercup when she's like, hey,
you're a liar.
You're a liar. Hello. I see through you finally. And he's like, Wesley's almost dead. Like they like suck out 50 years from him or something.
The machine.
No, physically. Like a straw.
More fairy tale logic.
Yeah. It's like he spent an hour in LAX. Yeah.
Yes. See? Exactly.
In the book, because in the movie, it's like 2 suction cups on his nipples, 2 on the side. I think there's like 2 on his head. Yeah. And in the book, I remember this vividly being like, and they put suction cups all over his body, like even under his eyelids and like, in his ear and did it like tiny ones because you're sucking out a year of life or something. And so it has to be everywhere. And I remember like that contrast and it'll just always sit with me, I think, because they said under the eyelids. And I was like, oh, suction cup under the eyelids.
Yeah,
nasty.
Don't love that. Take that out.
I literally
can't.
Sorry, cut that.
I cannot even put in a contact lens. Like,
I can put contacts in, but
I have to have someone else drop eye drops for me.
Well, I think they went over budget because they only had 6 suction cups. Anyways,
they only need
go on.
But we need to give William Golding, or whatever the hell his name is, a call and just say, hey, we think that's too many
suction cups.
Specifically remove the eyelid ones. Take that. Yeah, you can just edit that right out. Thank you.
So here's where the movie gets really wacky. Because they take Inigo Montoya and Fezzik, the whole name, they find Wesley and they're like, oh, he's not dead. He's mostly dead. So they take him to a miracle worker played by Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal.
And his wife, played by Carol Kane. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So iconic.
Good. The best. And they're both having such a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Billy Crystal is chewing on the scene.
Yeah.
Jess and I were giggling this entire time. We also had taken to assigning our friends as people in The Princess Bride. And I was like, Jess, who am I? And she goes, you're Miracle Max and Valerie. And I was like, I'll take it. Yes.
That's fun.
She is.
Yeah. He does. I mean, this whole scene is hysterical. And I did read that, like, people had to leave set because they were laughing. They were laughing so hard. And you can't laugh on set. I don't know if you guys know this, but
you're the big LA gal, so
you can't
tell
laugh.
us.
You have to be quiet on set. It's like the whole thing. It's like its whole thing.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I don't think I could be in the room for that either. Oh my God. I love it when actors are just chewing the scene. And I love Billy Crystal so much. His voice will make me laugh just by hearing it.
Oh, yeah. Especially the voice, like, his, like, old man thing. And then her, when she's chasing him around the thing, and she goes, Humperdinck, Humperdinck, Humperdinck. That was stuck in my head for, like, an hour after.
Yeah, they're basically trying to convince these miracle workers to, like, bring Wesley back. And then they hear that it's to get back at Humperdinck, and he's like, oh, I hate that guy. Finally. And so he agrees to do it. And so he has to feed, they're supposed to wait 15 minutes and then feed this thing to Wesley. But they're getting ready to storm the castle and they don't want to wait. They're like, we gotta go. So they feed it to him and now it's not at full power. So Wesley can't really move. And they just kind of have to drag him around.
I mean, he's been mostly dead all day.
Yeah, you gotta give him a break, you know?
That's fine. But
I was mostly dead yesterday, too, to be honest. I couldn't get out of bed. I was like, oh no, my arms don't work. Guess I gotta stay in here.
Darn. I love that for you, actually.
Thank you.
They should have paid sick leave for that. So
sorry, I'm mostly dead today. I'm not gonna be able to log on. So sorry.
So they get into the castle, right? And Wesley is like in bed or so. They have to put him
still
somewhere.
Paralyzed. Yeah.
He can like crawl though, because it's like working slowly. So he gets himself to the bed.
Yes. Yes. A strong man. He will ends of the earth for her. Inigo Montoya, of course, he finds the six-figure guy and he's like, let's go. Let's fight. And he kills him. I don't know if there's more to say, but that in that moment, Mandy Patinkin literally killed cancer. So
yeah.
He did.
And he did.
Beautiful. Oh, I think Wesley also gets like stabbed. You know, it happens.
There's a lot of fight things happening right now.
Inigo gets stabbed.
You're right.
Wesley's still laying on the bed, and but he's so intimidating that like
he bluffs
Humperdinck. He bluffs Humperdinck. Well, because like the wedding happened. And Humperdinck is like, all right, wrap it up. So Buttercup doesn't even get a chance to say I do or to not say it. So she's like, oh no, that sucks. I'm married now. And Wesley has to be like, no, it's okay. You're not. Because you didn't say I do. Like, it's all good.
Yeah. That's how marriage works.
It reminds me of that text exchange that's like, what is blah, blah, blah? And the other text is like, don't worry about it. And then the first one's like, okay, yay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
She's the damsel. She lets him take care. It's like, okay, Wesley, I believe you. You'll
just
handle
a simple farm girl.
She is.
And he is now a worldly pirate. So he knows the laws of the marriage.
Yeah, he's obviously very smart. And he's a man. And we all know that men know more than women. We all know that.
Yes.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
They all of our friends get away. They ride away on horses.
Yeah.
On beautiful white horses.
Yes.
Without saddles.
Bareback. See, it sounds different than it used to.
We got crossing swords. We got bareback. What else is in this movie?
You can't just say the term bareback innocently about horses anymore. What is this?
What a world we live in.
What a world.
Oh, gosh.
And the whole thing about the Dread Pirate Roberts, I mean, that's great. It's like, it's a title that is passed down. So, like, they retire really quickly.
Mm-hmm. As you would. I mean, pirating is...
That's hard work. I would retire as soon as I could. Yeah.
Hard on the body, you know?
Mm-hmm. Also seasickness.
They didn't have Dramamine.
No.
I don't like going onto the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
At all. Period.
You notoriously hate that. Yeah.
I notoriously hate the ocean.
How do you feel about the lake?
Not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan of any deep bodies of water.
Yeah.
I think that's where the fear comes from. It's mostly fear driving this hatred. I just put hatred on top so I don't feel like a little baby. But yeah, I don't like it.
I'm the same way. I don't fuck with deep bodies of water, and I don't fuck with space.
We don't.
Hell yeah.
We got thalassophobia over here, and we got deep space. I don't watch those movies for a reason. Too sad.
I fuck with all that stuff. I'm like,
I'll fuck with a deep space sometimes.
No, if someone's gonna die, you're gonna be alone. It's gonna be cold. Absolutely not. Not.
At least be warm. Come on.
At least make it warm. Come on.
Exactly.
I have a question for you, Chicago folks. I'm reading that in 2020, a Princess Bride themed bar opened in Chicago. As you wish.
I went there.
Okay, I was wondering.
It was
Tell
at
us
the
about it.
Well, there might have been a different one. It was at the 6th.
Oh, yeah.
And it was right before COVID shut everything down.
Oh, wow.
There could have been another one, though, but that's the one I went to, which is, funnily enough, we live like right next to it now, or we both live very close to it. We used to live in a different neighborhood. And they had shots. They had like the Miracle Max pill shot or something.
Oh, cute.
And I was like, I refuse to take this. What is it? And they're like, it's Malort. And I was like, I'm not fucking taking that.
Why would they do that? It's so rude.
Yeah, it was very cute. They had like cardboard cutouts and stuff. That bar is no longer with us, sadly. It was such a good bar. What a bummer.
It was.
Yeah.
So was the theme just like for a short run then?
Yeah.
At that bar? Okay, got it.
Same thing, like, do you remember Replay? Is it called Replay? The one on Sheffield? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
The arcade bar?
The arcade bar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do pop-ups all the time. It's like their thing now. They do pop-ups all the time. So it's for like a month or two, maybe.
Even though they already have a gimmick. They're an arcade bar.
Well, they're different. They're
now they have 2 gimmicks stacked on top of each other.
Ooh, a hat on a hat.
Correct.
It's very overwhelming a lot of the time to go in there. Yes.
I love that.
On a hat. Sorry, that just made me laugh.
That sounds, overstimulating. So the love in The Princess Bride, I think, is a very lucky I mean, the grandpa talks about it like this is a once in a lifetime love. Like that's how the story talks about it. It's like, yes, you should do anything for this kind of love.
Yeah.
Well, the end of it is even they shared a kiss that was one of the, like, there's been 5 kisses in the history of kisses that is so pure, and this one
blew them all the way.
Yeah, or something like that. Like, it's supposed to be this absolutely unrealistic, unachievable, amazing thing.
I mean, all my kisses are like that, so I don't,
Congratulations.
I was going to say, all my kisses are in the top 5.
Yeah.
You guys have kisses?
Aww, poor Emily.
That's how grown-ups have sex.
Just the kissing.
Just the kissing.
Gotcha.
Do you, either of you, both of you, have any kind of relationship advice that you would want to give our audience?
Give us all the details. Jess, you're married now, right?
Just did you freeze again?
Just in time.
Froze again.
Just in time to not answer the question. So convenient.
She is married, I can tell you that.
Okay, so we've got a confirmation on the pod. She is married.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk while she comes back. There she is, Jessica.
What?
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, you were frozen for a minute.
Yeah, you were frozen.
I didn't hear
for a bit.
any of what Shelby was saying. I heard.
Oh, no.
She asked if you had any relationship advice.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Go for it.
Can you hear me, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is courtesy of my therapist, not necessarily me. But Isaac says, this is specifically for people that have been with their partner for a while, too. Because, I've been with Keenan for 7 years now. And I think when you're in a relationship with someone for a long time, or even longer than maybe a year, especially I think if you live together, you feel like you know each other and you forget to be curious. And so Isaac's advice is every time I'm coming up with something that is frustrating me, they're like, okay, but you should be curious. Like, you should ask questions. And rather than being like, oh, you're so annoying and I know exactly why you're doing this. And oh, he's leaving the dishes in the sink again because he forgot. Ask instead. Ask like, hey, I've noticed that you keep doing this thing that's bothering me. Why are you doing, like, do you just keep forgetting? Is it hard to do it? Like, can we talk about it? And that has, like, helped me so much to, like, just
nice
kind of get through the initial annoyance of, like, if we have, like, a conflict or something, and be like, oh, maybe, like, this is a complex human being that even though I've been with them for 7 years, there's things that I need to learn. And so, yeah, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah. I love that. Because then I love to acquire more information. So it's like, oh, yeah, now I can acquire even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like, what do they say about people who assume things, right? Yeah. Make an ass out of you and me. Just ask the question. And then get mad when they tell you they forgot.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Get the information to get mad at. There you
exactly.
go.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, and it's just you're always changing. And you have to remember that they're also always changing. So, like, you're not always going to know each other as well as you used to. You have to, like, work at knowing each other, which is something that my therapist needs to remind me about a lot.
That's so fun. It's kind of like if you expect people to have different little, like, micro obsessions and interests every few months, then, like, you can always have something to talk about.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, what is it this quarter? It's time to ask the questions again.
Yeah.
What is it this quarter?
Q2 of 2024 was wild.
Yeah.
What about you, Emily? Do you have any advice for everyone?
I think mine's generic. Just, like, always tell the truth. I don't like liars, and I don't like cowards. So it's even if it's scary.
Yes.
Tell the truth, because it's not fun to be on the other end of that and in the dark. And it makes for a good, mature either relationship or breakup or like, you know, I think I always like honesty is always better than nothing is kind of what I have learned throughout my 33 years of life now. So
hell yeah.
I think a lot of times people are hesitant to, like, tell a deeper truth. And then once they finally do it, it's like there was whatever they were worried about was not there to begin with. So it's like you're literally prolonging your suffering.
It's your anxiety that's stopping you.
Yeah.
And it could be nothing at all. Mm-hmm. Just be like, oh yeah, go ahead and take the coat. I don't care. Like, you know, it's like something stupid.
Well, that's the thing too, is if it's like a lie, right? If you're withholding information that's actually important, even if the information turns out to be nothing, the fact that you lied about it now becomes a thing. Because it's like, why did you lie about something so stupid? Like, hello? Yeah, I agree. No liars, no cowards.
No
I'm putting
cowards.
that on my Hinge profile.
Do it. I'll put it in mine too. Oh my gosh. Let's do cross results there.
I think that's a good bet, because I have found that a lot of people in their dating interactions are quite cowardly. Like they won't actually put themselves out there.
Yeah, I do fear that putting no liars, no cowards in our profiles will be like a beacon for the liars and the cowards and the narcissists.
I've said that to people on, like, maybe not first dates, but like within the first few, I'll be like, you know, if they ask, if they're like, what's something that you look for, and I'll say like, honesty. Like I'm like, I don't like liars, I don't date them, and I don't date cowards. Like I've said that before. And I know why I'm single, and that's okay.
But again, it's because they can't handle a bad bitch. Like, what's their problem? Are they a liar and a coward? Yeah, I guess so. Otherwise, why? Because me, if I saw someone's profile and they were like, no liars, no cowards, I'd be like, well, I'm not either of those things. So let me.
But you know what? Men also get very intimidated. So they can be like, oh my God, am I a coward? And then if you're asking yourself,
because they
maybe
know.
You are.
Right.
Because they know they're liars and cowards and they can't admit it.
All they have to do is not be that. And it
need not apply. Need not apply.
Right. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Let's go.
This was lovely. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us. This was so fun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We have to come. We'll have to read a book next time and go chat with you guys. But let our listeners know where they can find you.
Go ahead, Emily.
On everything. We have we host through Spotify, but you can find us on Apple, on, Pandora, Google, all that shit. And then We have a TikTok, which is at Femmes Reading Filth. We have an Instagram at Femmes Reading Filth. And then we also have an Etsy store, which is the Femmes Reading Filth merch shop. So go find that.
And a Tumblr.
And a Tumblr. We do have a Tumblr now.
I had to.
That's amazing. Genuinely.
So you can find us everywhere. We just finished the last episode of our 4th season is being published tomorrow. So
yay.
People have time now to catch up on all of the seasons. So
amazing.
Yep. We love that.
Can't wait. We'll be listening.
Yay.
Over on this side, if you want to find us, we also have a TikTok and an Instagram, I think, over at the Rom Complex.
Why do you sound like you're competing? We also have a TikTok.
It's a fight. We're fighting.
Well, do you guys have a Tumblr?
No,
we will in 20 minutes. Don't tempt me. But yeah, I'll finish it for you. Come follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Rom Complex. You can also check out our website, theromcomplex.com. We have all our latest episodes on there. And you can even send us an email from our website. If you want to let us know your thoughts on The Princess Bride, go ahead, send them over, theromcomplex@gmail.com.
And then, of course, the last one we've got for you, the last link, if I may.
Yes.
Patreon.com/The Rom Complex. If you love hearing us and you want to hear some more, over at patreon.com/The Rom Complex, we've got weekly mini episodes, monthly watch-alongs, weekly tarot readings from Sam, which is really cool. And if you are a $10 patron, we will shout you out on every podcast. So shout out to darlinghomebuddy.com, Nicole J., Catherine W., and our friend HPG. Thank you so much. Again, that's patreon.com/The Rom Complex.
Yeah, go join. But thank you guys so much again. This was a delight. We got to talk about a classic fantasy romance comedy with some new friends. Well, new for Shelby. I already knew you guys. So
yeah, you're old news to us. Hi, Shelby.
Yeah.
Hi.
We had a great time.
Thank you.
So we'll see you next week. And just remember to keep falling in love
with yourselves.
Bye.